Greetings, I am the wrestling fan. I may not be the best wrestling fan, but I am the finest. Now, I know I'm a little late with this. This is my pay-per-view reactions for Extreme Rules 2016, and yes, that happened actually about a week ago. Unfortunately, I could not watch the pay-per-view live. I just couldn't, basically, and I couldn't catch up on it until now. But I finally watched the entire pay-per-view, including the one match on the pre-show, and I am ready to show you, or give you my reactions to it. So, this is another rendition of The Wrestling Fans Pay-Per-View Reactions, this time for Extreme Rules 2016. So I don't really care about the pre-show matches, and I usually don't watch them because they don't really mean anything, they're not interesting, but I like Dolph Ziggler. I really do like Baron Corbin. I think he's improved a lot, and he's come a long way. A no DQ match between the two of them, fine. I gave it a chance. That's technically the first match of this pay-per-view. And you know what? For about a 7-8 minute match, it is really, really good. These two mesh well together. The bigger guy versus the smaller guy. Dolph Ziggler is the underdog. Baron Corbin as just the mean asshole heel who's bigger than everybody and will just beat the shit out of you. They have good chemistry together. And maybe this feud's gone on a little too long. It's still going on. But you know what? I was actually pleasantly surprised. Because like I said, I couldn't see this pay-per-view live, so I knew all the results. But this match actually had me going a little bit. It was really good back and forth. There was no reason for it to be no DQ, minus what happened at the end of it. But fine, you know, it's Extreme Rules. You gotta add a stipulation to almost every damn match. Or actually, you should to every match. It's Extreme Rules. Every match should be no DQ. It should be like an ECW style pay-per-view. Oh yeah, it was. It was One Night Stand before. But anyway, it was a solid match. It really was. Both men impressed me. I just wish there was a better reason for this feud so I could give a shit. But for what I was given, it was the best match between both of them thus far. So the opening match of the actual pay-per-view was Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson in a Tornado Tag Team match versus the Usos. And man, I love that the Usos are getting booed so much. Not because I hate them. They're a very good tag team. I am just bored to death with them. As I think that's why they're getting booed. Not so much for their association with Roman Reigns, which that doesn't help, but mainly because they're boring. They're not changing. As a tag team, you gotta kind of change it up a little bit. And yeah, they're good high flyers, but that's really it. There's a lot of tag team matches they've had over the years that I've thoroughly enjoyed and could watch over and over, and they've been a plus to the tag team division, but god damn am I fucking bored with them. So I wasn't really looking forward to this match, but again, this pay-per-view surprised me, and it was a solid tag team match. I haven't seen a Tornado tag team match in WWE for a long time, and it was great from beginning to end. It wasn't super long. Again, kind of short. I wish it was longer. I think they deserved. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, they need to have that long, great tag team match to really show the fans what they could do, but they still did that in a way in this match. I mean, Usos didn't look horrible. The crowd was very much behind Gallows and Anderson, but it was solid. Great back and forth action, high pace, but they knew when to slow down, and again, I knew the outcome, but I very much enjoyed it. I wish I could have seen it live. So, alright, let's move on to the next match. Alright, for the United States Championship, Rusev with Lana, he's back in the title picture now, against Callisto, the champion. When Callisto won the title, it was shocking. I had no idea that that was a plan that was in play. And I was excited. I mean, his rivalry with Alberto Del Rio was boring. I'm not a fan of Alberto Del Rio. I think he's got a great look. I think he's okay on the mic. And honestly, he should be a huge star. But for some reason, he is just a charisma vacuum to me. I respect the guy, but I don't really like him. And I don't like the way he beat John Cena last year. Not his fault, though. But Callisto winning, I thought, wow, a cruiserweight, okay, yeah, I know they're trying to make him like the new Rey Mysterio, which that's not going to happen. He doesn't have the charisma of Rey Mysterio. But, okay, like, it was a cool moment when he won. And then a few days later, he lost it. And that was the wrong move by WWE. It really was. And then he won it back again. It was bad booking. That was shit. But his U.S. title run hasn't been great. He had some matches with Ryback. Not great. He just wasn't really booked well. And I think everyone was waiting for him versus Sin Cara for the belt. And now we're not going to get that. And it sucks. I was looking forward to seeing that because it's not Botch Cara. It's Sin Cara. It's Hanako. But this match, again, was another surprise. I'm going to keep saying that, I think. It was another surprise. It was a good big man, little man match. It was a good showing for Callisto, but it showed Rusev as the monster he once was because they completely fucked him up with the John Cena feud and splitting him from Lana. I mean, they ruined one of the hottest new characters in the company. And he's never going to get that momentum back. Once it's gone. But I'm okay with where they're going with him, and hopefully they keep going in a better direction. I'm not super impressed with him as a wrestler, but it's a fun character. Lana's gorgeous, of course. I just don't know where Callisto goes from here, but the match itself was another surprise. It was very, very solid and a good showing for both men. So, next. Okay, the New Day defended the WWE Tag Team Championships against the Vaudevillians, and it was probably supposed to be Enzo and Cass who got this, but unfortunately Enzo got injured. But I like the Vaudevillians. I like their gimmick. I think it's very original. It's not working as well as I think they want it to on the main roster, and it probably never will. But the fact they got a title shot so soon is pretty cool, regardless of why they got it. I wasn't looking forward to this match. I'm like, well, there's no way New Day's losing. Again, I was surprised. It was a very solid, good tag team match that did not make the Vaudevillains look weak. It wasn't one-sided. The New Day was entertaining as hell. They cut a great promo before the match, which they always do. But the Vaudevillains, they came off looking like legitimate threats. And it just sucks that they're probably never going to get a shot at the titles ever again. Because it was a damn good showing. And if I had seen this live, I probably would have thought they were going to win a couple times. It looked that way. So again, it's another surprise on this pay-per-view's part. A pleasant surprise, a good tag team match. I just wish it had been a lot longer. It was only like 6-7 minutes. I think it deserved longer, but it is what it is. So far, this pay-per-view hasn't let me down yet. So let's move on to the next one. Okay, yeah, let's, when I heard about this match and how good it was, which, come on, did any of us think, unless all four men were having off nights, this was going to be the match of the night, and one of the best matches of the year, if given enough time. And it was definitely given enough time. It started perfectly, it ended perfectly, the pace was phenomenal. I guess I should say what the match was, sorry. It was the Fatal 4-Way for the Intercontinental Championship. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens versus Cesaro versus the champion, The Miz. And I know a lot of people were probably wishing that Miz wasn't in this match, but you know what? He's had a career resurgence, all because of his wife accompanying him to the ring. It gives him a great new look. He's acting more aggressive, but also still the coward. So I'm enjoying him as Intercontinental Champion right now. I really am, and it's great to have all these other guys. I think him and Sami could have the feud of the year. I really do. I know people want Cesaro to win the title, and I do too, but I think the money is in Sami Zayn versus The Miz. The underdog versus this dick. I really think there's a lot of money in that. So we'll see what happens. I think that's the way they're going eventually. But this match was just high octane, it was fucking rocket fuel from the beginning. All four men gelled. Miz is a great wrestler when he works with someone better than him, and these three guys are better than him. And it's not a knock against Miz. That's just the way it is. and it was just so good. God, the stuff between Kevin and Sami was amazing as always, and Cesaro had a lot of great moments, and Sami had great moments, and The Miz had good moments, and the way the match ended I thought was perfect. I thought it was perfect. It's exactly how I thought the match should end, with the person winning. I guess it doesn't really matter if I do spoilers, but I try not to just in case. But the person winning squeaking out the victory in complete heel fashion. It was great. But I mean, people were praising this match, calling it the match of the year. I agree. I think it's the best match that WWE's had by far. It's the best Fatal 4-Way match I can remember watching, especially in WWE. It was the best pay-per-view match of the year. Well, okay. Shinsuke and Sami still had match of the year for WWE so far, but on the main pay-per-view for WWE, the best match was definitely this Fatal 4-Way, and without a doubt the best match of the night. I don't know if before I named my best match of the night, I think I did, and worst match of the night. This was the best match of the night, by far. It's a match that I will watch 20 times in the future. It was that damn good, and if you don't want to see this pay-per-view, fine, but watch it just for that match, because it's great to see the Intercontinental Championship defended in a match of this type of quality. It deserves it, and it makes the championship mean even more. And the build-up was good for this match. Oh god, like, I may watch it after I'm done with this fucking video. It was that good. Now for the worst match of the night, let's move on to the next one. Okay, this was Chris Jericho versus Dean Ambrose in the Ambrose Asylum Steel Cage match. Great. Look, this was not a terrible match. I feel bad they had to follow the Intercontinental Championship match. That kind of sucks, but at least they didn't make the women follow it. I'm glad that trend has come to an end. And I love Chris Jericho. He's one of my all-time favorites, and I have no complaints about him in the match. I've said it before, I've just gotten I like Dean Ambrose a lot. I really do. I like the promos he can cut. I like some of the matches he can have, but his moveset is very boring to me. He's getting so repetitive. Even in a match like this, he's not really acting like the lunatic fringe, and he is just boring the shit out of me. So I didn't care about this match. The build-up was kind of fun. The rivalry these two have had has been fun, and they've been trying their damnedest to make the audience care. The audience really did not give a shit about this match, especially after that classic Fatal 4-Way. And to me, the whole Ambrose Asylum, like, people praised it for, like, oh, like, it was different. WWE's thinking outside the box. Okay, well, true. But honestly, it felt like a TNA creation. That's the main reason I didn't like this match. It felt too hokey. It felt too stupid. It just felt like too TNA for me. Not because it was a complicated match. It's not. It was just dumb. And it picked up towards the end, but both men the match felt sluggish. And both men just felt kind of off. And honestly, almost like they didn't care. Like, Ambrose, I'm kind of getting tired of him it doesn't seem like he really gives a shit. And I'm sure I'm reading into that too much. I mean, Jericho gave it his all, but, you know, Jericho going into thumbtacks, yeah, that was fun, you know. It wasn't enough to save the match, and the right guy won, but this was not like one of the worst matches in history. It was fine. But a match like this shouldn't be just fine between these two. But this was definitely the worst match of the night. Not one that I will watch again. So, next. Okay, this was the submission match for the WWE Women's Championship. I love that I can say that, and it's true. Natalya versus the champion Charlotte, and Ric Flair was banned from ringside. And of course, the night after on Raw, Charlotte gave her father the boot, and now has a new person in her life, and I'll get to that in a second. I didn't like that I saw this match was under 10 minutes. I didn't like that. Maybe it was shortened because Ambrose and Jericho went on way too fucking long. I don't think I said that before. It was almost a half-hour match because they had to keep climbing to get the weapons, but really? That's your longest match of the damn night? You could have taken away 10 minutes from that match, and it would have made it a shit ton better if it was faster paced, given more time to the tag team matches or this women's match. This women's match was awesome. For a submission match, it wasn't boring, and they really got the crowd into it. Charlotte showed some moves that she hasn't done before, and Natalya showed why she's that good, and hopefully will one day be the WWE Women's Champion. I think she's earned it, even if it's just for one damn night, but she deserves a longer reign. But it was an interesting match. Submission matches can sometimes be very boring. This wasn't boring. And I don't think this should have went like 20 minutes, but I think it should have went like 13, 14. But regardless, and they've had better matches, it was very, very good. And it was good to see Charlotte, fighting again. But yeah, somebody helped her at the end of the match, and it was Dana Brooke. And when I heard that, I was incredibly pissed off. I'm a fan of Dana Brooke. I really liked her and Emma together. Emma, unfortunately, they both came to the main roster again, and she got a back injury. She's going to be out probably the rest of the year. That sucks. So they put Dana Brooke with Charlotte, and it pissed me off. I went, why? Those two and Ric Flair, why? Can she not do it on her own? And honestly, it bothered me. And then Charlotte gave Ric Flair the boot on Raw, and somehow that did change my mind a little bit. I was like, okay, well, she can groom Dana in a way and have this little puppy dog following her around saying she's the best, and then eventually when she turns on her to go for the championship, it could be a huge face turn for her. So, okay, I'm actually a fan of it. I look forward to seeing where it's going. And I know a lot of people were saying like Charlotte needs to win a match on her own, but you gotta remember, she's the heel, and she gets more heat by winning matches thanks to somebody else. That's what a heel does. Ric Flair always cheated in the 80s. I don't hear anybody complaining about that. It's what heels do. And the only reason the end of the match bothered me was because I was pissed of Dana Brooke joining her and Rick, but Rick's no longer there, so it kind of changes everything. It makes sense. It's not bad. It's kind of like when Chyna had the cat with her. A lot different, but because Dana is a lot bigger. But you know what I mean? Like it's like, okay, well, this could actually work. This could work. But I was disappointed. Dana Brooke and Emma, I like them together a lot, but you do what you can with injuries, and WWE, it just keeps getting hit with injuries. But the match itself is solid. It really is. It's not one of Charlotte and Natalya's better matches, but for a submission match between two women, it was damn good. Another surprise. Now let's move on to the main event. Okay, this was the second match between AJ Styles and Roman Reigns for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship in an Extreme Rules match. And let's be honest, we all knew that AJ Styles was not going to win the fucking WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I know people are complaining about the way AJ's been booked. I'm not saying it's been perfect, but listen. I never thought I would see the phenomenal AJ Styles in WWE. I thought his time had passed. I didn't think they'd bring him in. I definitely didn't think that he would have 2 straight main event pay-per-view matches for the WWE Championship. This is a dream come true. And you have to stop thinking about yourselves for a second and think about him. How amazing this has to be for him. There was something online like he's the only man to main event an IWGP pay-per-view, a TNA pay-per-view, and a Ring of Honor pay-per-view, and a WWE pay-per-view for the World Championships. That's historical. That's awesome. That's probably never going to happen again. And it's got to be awesome for him. He's barely been there, 5 months? And he got 2 main event world title matches? And he's going to have more, guys. They have big plans for him. I'm scared of what the booking is going to be like for him, but he has proved himself and put on great matches and gave Roman Reigns 2 of his best matches, and honestly 2 of AJ's best matches in the WWE. Their match at Payback was fantastic, even with the stoppages. This one was a bit shorter, but better, because there really wasn't interference until the end. But it made sense. The interference did make sense. It was woven into the story, which has been pretty okay told. But these two have great chemistry together. He made Roman look like a beast, made him look strong. But AJ looked great too, because he is a lot smaller than Roman. And he got the shit kicked out of him by Roman Reigns. And people complained how 1 spear at the end and he's dead. Yeah, but he had a spear on the outside earlier. He went through a table. he got the shit kicked out of him in this match. He's not as strong as Roman Reigns, but Roman got some punishment as well. And I didn't see like 15 phenomenal forearms or anything, and he actually hit a Styles Clash on Roman twice. And that's my only complaint with this match. The only complaint is that Roman kicked out of 2 straight Styles Clashes. Kicked out twice. Kicked out from the first one, and then he did the Styles Clash to him on a chair. And even though Styles was pulled out, he went back and pinned him right away. I don't like that. I don't like the way they're booking the Styles Clash. It's one of the most original, innovative, finishing wrestling moves in wrestling history, and they're making it seem like nothing. If they were completely getting rid of the move because it's too dangerous, fine. But don't let them keep doing it then if you're just going to have everyone kick out of it. Him kicking out of 1 Styles Clash, fine. But 2, one after the other, and one being on a chair, fuck you, WWE. That's bad booking. You want him just to use the phenomenal forearm to win his matches? Fine. But stop treating the Styles Clash like it's nothing. I read something that the finisher kickouts of this pay-per-view was kind of atrocious. Yeah, I don't think it was atrocious, but I think it was lazy booking in a lot of instances. I do. But the only time it really bothered me was the Styles Clash. That's the only part about Styles booking that's really pissing me off. But regardless, it was a great match, great pacing, good storytelling, good back and forth. Both men look great. I loved it. I thought it topped their payback match. They used the Extreme Rules stipulation to their advantage and used it well. It made it very entertaining, and the crowd was super into it. The crowd wasn't happy when the ending happened, but then, of course, what made it all better, the crowd popped, and I mean popped, for Seth Rollins returning to the WWE, and it's great to have him back. He's already in a feud for the world title. Cool beans, I'm okay with that. The Architect is back, and they're still trying to make him a heel, which honestly, he kind of works as a heel, but we'll see how long that lasts. But that was the moment of the night, Seth Rollins' return. It was, I don't want to say shocking, but it was a surprise, because most people thought he would return the next night on Raw, and he held the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I don't like that Styles was kind of just pushed to the side. I didn't like that. I thought that was a little much, but maybe they were rushing because it was the end of the pay-per-view. I don't know. But it was still a really cool moment and a great way to end this pay-per-view, Extreme Rules. So there you go. My reactions to Extreme Rules 2016. Kind of a surprise. Honestly, the only letdown of the night was the Ambrose Asylum match, which I'm not making this up. I kind of felt that would be the worst match of the night. But it had its moments, and it was kind of entertaining in some parts, but nothing I'll watch again. But every other match delivered. Even the ones that didn't get enough time really delivered. And the IC title match, that was worth watching the whole pay-per-view alone. But the main event's really good. Those were both the best match of the night, but of course the IC title was the best match of the night. Stay away from the Ambrose Asylum match unless you're just a huge fan of Dean Ambrose or want to see another Jericho match or see a match where Jericho gets thrown in the thumbtacks. There's now gifs of him in a certain position with the thumbtacks that are really damn funny. Look it up. But my final verdict for Extreme Rules 2016, I give it a 4 out of 5, which may seem a little high, but if I would have seen this live, I would have been very, very happy. Honestly, I think I would have. And seeing a pay-per-view live is much better because you don't know the outcomes. So watching it, there are surprises every single match, even if you kind of know who's going to win. I would have been very happy with this pay-per-view live. I think I would have been. It's worth it alone for the main event and the IC title match, but even the undercard, honestly, I think over-delivered in a lot of ways. So, there you go. And just a fair warning, the next pay-per-view for WWE is NXT TakeOver The End, which I'm a little concerned why it's called that, but we'll find out. And then the one after Money in the Bank. 2 very big pay-per-views. I will not be able to watch either one of them live, but I should be able to get the pay-per-view reactions up shortly after, hopefully a day or two. So just a fair warning for future pay-per-view reactions, but I will be able to see SummerSlam live. And that's my favorite pay-per-view of the year. I can't wait. Hopefully it's not a big heaping pile of shit. But anyway, this was The Wrestling Fan's pay-per-view reactions for Extreme Rules 2016. As you can see, I got more wrestling to watch, so until next time, kiddies, see you then.